it's the Lawn Gnome, and I'm coming to you with a brand new tag that I've actually been tagged in. I was tagged by my good friend Adelle from the next chapter to do the Hunger Games tag. There will be a link to her video provided in the box below. And I did also do a Hunger Games themed tag a few months back. It was actually called the District tag, and there will be a link to that video in my library provided below. So in case you haven't done that or have not seen the District tag yet, I think that that would be a fun one that you guys should all do. So yay, congratulations. If you haven't done it, you've all been tagged. So I didn't know if this was going to be a tag that I was going to do, of course, because of the fact that Mockingjay Part 2 is coming out this week, and I didn't know if I was going to have the time to actually do it, but I also wasn't sure if I really was a real Hunger Games fan to actually answer all these questions properly. Now, I've read all the books, and I have seen all the movies up until this point. I'm actually rewatching them to prepare, but after watching Adelle's video, I think I can answer all these questions properly. So, there are going to be 12 questions, of course, for 12 districts, but I'm going to throw a 13th one in there. And of course, I'm also going to incorporate the films in this tag as well. So let's begin. The first question is, what is your favorite book/film in the Hunger Games trilogy? Well, I will definitely say that it happens to be the same one, and that is Catching Fire. The Hunger Games was a fantastic introduction to these characters, but it was Catching Fire that really opened up the story and expanded on these characters and who they were, and also gave us a little bit more insight into what was really going on the continent of Panem. And in the film, it is also depicted very well, excellent character development, and even though there were a couple of things that they elaborated more upon in the book that they didn't really do much in the film, I still truly did enjoy the film just as much as I did enjoy the book. Question number 2 is, how long would you last in the Hunger Games? Well, let me put it bluntly. If I was actually picked in the Reaping, I would take a gun and shoot myself in the head. Let's move on. Question number 3 is, what is the strangest thing that you thought was going to happen in the book, but didn't? Well, that would be a decent ending for Mockingjay. I didn't get my decent ending. That book was so horrible because of the fact that I treat books just as well as I treat my CDs and my DVDs. Like children, I do not toss them across the room. But I want to so badly because after reading great sagas like Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings, I really thought that this was going to be on par with some of those great stories, and it wasn't. And because of that, I was very, very upset. Question number 4 is, how were you introduced to the Hunger Games? Well, this was long before the movies came out. I'm not exactly sure if they started talking about the movies being greenlit in various easy accessible media like YouTube and the radio, but one day when I was actually spending a weekend over at my brother's place, his girlfriend at the time was actually reading the last 2 books in the trilogy. So I started asking her questions about them, and she said to me, if you like Harry Potter, you will absolutely love this story. It's not the same, but it's got a great pace, it's got great characters, I think you will very much enjoy it. And that was pretty much how I decided to pick up those books, to read them before the movies came out, and of course then I started watching the movies as well. And I now am a proud owner of all 3 books and the first 3, soon to be 4 films. Question number 5 is your favorite moment that happens in the Hunger Games. That would totally be the scene where Katniss is doing her training and she sees those prestigious people that are just not paying attention to her performance, so she shoots an arrow right in their direction and it hits the apple that is in the mouth of the suckling pig at their buffet table. I just thought that that was such a bold thing to actually see in a young adult novel, and in the movie it is done absolutely perfectly as well. Question number 6 is, who is your favorite character? Believe it or not, it's not any of the main characters. I personally am a huge fan of Cinna. Even though he is such a minor character, he is just someone who truly comforted Katniss, and I never would have imagined Lenny Kravitz being such a relatable character and exactly what I expected Cinna to be in movie form, and he just did a phenomenal job, and it was because of the fact that that portrayal of the actual character in the films was so well adapted from the actual literature. I just loved that character even more. Question number 7 is, what district would you live in? I would live in District 2, because quite frankly, based on the aftermath of the final book, knowing what happened to the capital, I would be much more comfortable being in the second best district. You may not get the perks of the main rich district, but at least you will live a good life. And you definitely won't suffer as much after the rebellion officially succeeds. Question number 8 is, what is the most emotional part of the books and film for you? Rue's death. I don't want to go into any more details because, quite frankly, if you are watching this, that probably means you have read The Hunger Games or have seen the movie, so I don't expect there to be spoilers. But when it comes to Rue and what happens to her, this is something I don't want to talk about because you just have to see it to understand why it's such a powerful moment in the story. Question number 9 is, what item would you take from home with you into the arena as a token? My Back to the Future t-shirt, just because of the fact that that is something that always gives me hope. Those movies are so impactful in my life, and they always make me feel good. So why not bring something with me that makes me feel good? I can wear it under my traditional Hunger Games garb for good luck. Question number 10 is, what is the most evil plan someone made in the books? Pretty much everybody is saying the same thing, and that was the plot to turn Peeta against Katniss. President Snow is just truly evil, and anybody that really tries to do this to someone just shows you how much hate one has in their heart, and just truly doesn't care about anybody but themselves. And that truly depicts evil in man and woman. Question number 11 is, what are you looking forward to the most in the film? And obviously, this tag came out when the movies were coming out, so of course I'm going to refer to Mockingjay Part 2. I'm just very curious to see how they're going to end the film. Based on the disappointment that so many people have towards the actual book, I'm very curious to see if they may in fact change it for cinematic value, or maybe just to have the franchise redeem itself to a certain degree, but I'm kind of expecting it to be just as horrible as the book. So if they do decide to throw us a little curveball, I would be impressed and definitely give them a proverbial pat on the back for just trying to be a little bit on the bold side. Question number 12 is, who is your favorite villain in the trilogy? Well, I'm gonna go and say Clove. She was the female tribute from District 2, especially in the film. She was just such a conniving and murderous bitch. I was so impressed with the actress that actually portrayed her because she really did bring out the evil in this character. I knew she was evil in the book, but that's what I loved so much about the films. The people that they chose to fill these characters' shoes and bring them to life, they just did some of the best casting that I ever saw. And even for the minor roles, like Clove, definitely one of the most evil villains of the entire book. And now for my bonus question, which is number 13. The final book being split into 2. Are you happy with it, or are you not? Everybody thought that thanks to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, that every single young adult story was going to be split when it came to the final book in the series. Twilight didn't have to do it. Hunger Games, I'm kind of in the middle, because the first film was very well drawn out. It didn't really feel like a filler to me, because of all the stuff that they really elaborated on that takes place before the final battle. So I'm pretty much expecting this one to be very much like the Deathly Hallows. A great lead-up with the opportunity to create better character development and have the actors really show what they can do, followed by an all-out action-packed finale. I'm not saying that it was a good idea, but I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. I'm just in between and just torn as far as I'm concerned with splitting up with Mockingjay. So that's it, everybody. That's the Hunger Games tag. Adele, thank you so much for tagging me, but now it's time for me to tag some people. I'm not going to tag a whole bunch of people, but I definitely want to make sure that Hunger Games fans are tagged for this one, and I know some Hunger Games fans that are subscribed to my channel, so I'm hoping that you'll all watch this and do this tag when you get around to it. I'm going to tag Sparks Reading, I'm going to tag Books and Things, I'm going to tag Bookworm Jess, and I'm going to tag Taylor Talks Books. So thank you very much for watching the Hunger Games tag, everybody, and I'm looking forward to doing another tag for you all. So I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words, and may the odds be forever in your favor.